When you learn your worth, you'll stop giving other people discounts. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. Give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. Today I'm going to be reacting at the request of Ori, my amazing Patreon, to I'm Sorry by Iris. Now, I don't know anything about Iris, but I know what it's like to have a lot of remorse and be sorry for so many things, and I've said those words billions of times in my life, I'm sure. I'm not ashamed, you shouldn't be either, to admit when you're wrong, but let's see what we're apologizing for today. I like that artwork. It's simple, but... Is that ash falling? Or snow?
Would it help if I began to break my heart out to you? I couldn't help but feel the empty words in every single move. Even when the fog had cleared, the damage had dissolved. Didn't mean it was resolved.
Ooh.
So no more haunting prayers. When the tears were falling, I felt more despair. So now, what the hell have I become? How can I make it up? Should I ever get to prove myself? That was up to you. Was I always yours to share, or was I just your deja vu? Now my memory is clear. I'm strong of mind to know I'll pay my dues when everyone's retreated from my show. I'm a mortal mess. You were better off without my darkness. And now there's nothing more to say. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the pain that I ever caused. It wasn't that I caused nothing but remorse. Now taking it back, the religious thought is all I made. I'm the walking distance to the carnivores. I live more alone. All I know is every stitch was open hole. Now your brain, forgiveness is not that selectively. I am sorry.
I think the part about deja vu was kind of a reference to, are you looking at me as I am now, or are you stuck on a memory of me? And I can definitely relate to that in so many ways, that nostalgia is so powerful that when we tend to think back to someone, or we tend to look at someone, we really try to see the best version of them and the best in them. So it's very hard to connect to a part of them that might make us uncomfortable because it mirrors what we don't like in ourselves in many ways. But when the fog is cleared, the damage has dissolved, as in lessened the intensity of, but not resolved. So it hasn't analyzed and sorted out the issues at hand here. And this is the aftermath of a dysregulation or a depressive episode that might have destroyed a relationship. But the episode passes one way or another, and there's the pain that your actions and your words have caused, and there's the crippling guilt that comes along with that. There's the guilt that you lost control, that you couldn't stay strong, the guilt that you hurt someone you loved and cared about when all you wanted was for them to understand the pain that you're feeling and want them to empathize in some way. I'll pay my dues when everyone has retreated from my show. I think that that's when you push everyone away, first to punish yourself, but also to protect them, and then you're left alone, and you're left alone with yourself, and that can be a very scary place to be.
road ahead of you. Healing has begun. From the first mistake, you learn to fly your wings instead of run. If we're being open to you, child, we're no perfect saints, for we're all a part of the same trap we play. In the end, we won't deny. We'd be fools to only try to justify. So now we've got much more to say.
I love that.
I feel born a parasite. Why aren't you gone away?
Hold me closer, not alone.
Once in me, we made this genocide revive. I'm drowning anyway.
Save your heart made out of stone. Don't treat destiny like dominoes to fall. We're too good to make a switch. We gotta bend. We're all sinners to the demons in us all. So together we can fall.
We're all sinners to the demons in us all, meaning we all have our weaknesses, we all have our struggles, and we all fall victim to them sometimes or another, or we all survive them at some point. I don't like to think of being victimized, I don't like to think of victimhood, but though damage is done all around when we have an episode or when we dysregulate or when we have this type of interaction with someone else, the healing of the person in the crossfire is typically less complicated, though certainly not less important, than the person or the complexities of the person that's being afflicted with the episode. And these episodes are not always on the fault of the person having them, or at least not only on the fault of the person having them. I can attest that all the skills in this entire world can't keep these dysregulations at bay if you're around someone whose behavior constantly triggers them after you've set reasonable boundaries in place and this person isn't respecting those boundaries, or this person isn't listening to your needs. And then of course you're getting constantly triggered because sometimes we are more sensitive to things. I know that there are certain things such as tone in another person that I'm very sensitive to, but I have the right to set a boundary that I don't want people using that tone with me. And that doesn't give me the right to obviously say whatever I want if they do end up using that tone, but it can be very, very hard for me to regulate if that does come up and things just become so overwhelming in my brain that I try my best to remove myself from the situation, but sometimes I do say things I don't mean. But we hate ourselves enough after something like this happens, and we want to do better, and in most cases we're desperately trying to do better, but it takes the other people that are around us, it takes a positive environment for us really to flourish in this way.
Though the journey's long, this vision I will cast, that now there's more for me to stay. I'm sorry for the darkness I can sense so long. And in the end I hope to better right from wrong. I'm taking it back, regret will burn the bridge we've made. But we've begun ascension like foretold in fate. Now I feel as one again, as whatever strains or wonders pass, no matter when. Now we're stone cold dry. I'm still born and meant to die.
Wow. Look, the healing journey is long, whether we're referring to the internal or the external one. There's the internal one that we have within ourselves, but there's the external one that involves other people and involves our environment and has a lot of different facets to it. And I almost feel like the end is a perceived ascension out of the dark, be that a specific episode or a more encompassing healing or an unfortunate grim defeat. Seeing stars collide though, so long as both stars aren't moving at a fast pace, when two stars collide slowly, when they're both moving slowly and they collide, they can create a new brighter star called a blue straggler. So I think that that's really interesting that now it's two entities burning brighter as one entity. And I really like that because it shows how we can be stronger as a whole, you know, when we stand up for each other, when we listen to each other's needs, when we're there for each other, when we share with each other, we can collide, yes, but we can create something brighter and more beautiful out of that. And that was what I really just fell in love with. That was the line I fell in love with the most because it gave me this beautiful visual of two souls that are just kind of floating along, colliding with each other and creating that blue straggler, that beautiful new bright entity. So I think that there is a lot to be said for how we bounce back from these things and how we try to do better the next time. But there's also something to be said for the individuals on the other side and how they're appearing in the situation, how they're supporting their loved ones and stuff that are going through these difficult situations. And I really genuinely truly believe we heal together. And this goes back to when you learn your worth, you stop giving others discounts. I obviously, when I choose quotes for the beginning, have no idea what the theme of the song is going to be, but sometimes they really just blend perfectly together and they're so poetic together because when you know what you're worth, you're not going to accept people into your life. You're going to cut people out of your life, even if they're people close to you, if they are not helping you heal yourself. If they're not a positive part of your healing journey. So I have been so fortunate and grateful to not only be part of many of your healing journeys as you shared with me, but you guys get to be part of mine too. And I think that that's really special. And I think we're all colliding and just creating this beautiful brightness. It's going to be a beacon for other people who need that. So make sure you keep sharing your mental health stories here in the comments. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it if you know somebody that might need a boost today. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Mwah.